also have to have an honest conversation about what people are willing to do for stardom. If you want a #1 record on the chart so bad you'll take a #1 in the face, some of that is on you.
Come hang out on one of my live streams that's linked down below, either on my other YouTube channel or on my Twitch. Also, I have a Patreon that has more content on there that you haven't seen if you haven't joined. Today, I'm going to be reacting to something different. New rule, freak, and update, real time with Bill Maher.
Finally, new rule, the Me Too movement, which turns 8 years old in October, needs an actual new rule, an amendment, if you will. Now, I'm sure with all the important world-changing news that's going on lately, very few of you have had time to pay attention to the P. Diddy trial going on in New York. I'm joking, of course. The moon could crash into the earth, and that trial would still be the first thing I'd click on, and I'm sure you know that.
Already almost forgot to pause. I don't really know Bill Maher very much. I've seen clips, but I couldn't personally name a single thing that I remember him from or an interaction at the top of my head right now. But seems like the video might start with, well, no, he said Me Too, and now he's talking about Diddy, so...
I gotta say, this Diddy is a really hard guy to figure out. He's allegedly so jealous of Kid Cudi just dating Cassie that he firebombs his car, and it wasn't even a Tesla.
Because people have been doing that to Teslas. I got it. Haven't actually been keeping up with the trial at all. The only thing that I've seen was actually what I reacted to.
But then he pays another man so we can watch the guy fuck her right in front of him. Love is complicated. And that's where we must start. We need to keep two thoughts in our head at once. One, Diddy is a bad dude. Really bad. Like the worst thing in rap since Hammer Pants.
They were that bad?
A violent, sick fuck. I'm sorry, I mean an alleged violent, sick fuck. And we should lock him up and throw away the baby oil. And
that one guy in the audience, you can hear him. Like he's disgusted and ashamed or something. Hey, two things can be true at a time, so let me just state the obvious, maybe the even more apparent or important one. This. Diddy is blank what she's doing. So the second thing sounds as if it's going to be about Cassie.
And two, things have changed enough so that moving forward, the rule should be, if you're being abused, you gotta leave right away. Now, I completely understand why in the past women often did not do that. I understand, as counterintuitive as it seems, why an abused woman would send complimentary texts or emails to her abuser after the abuse.
The audience is quiet. Sounds like a heavy thing to say and kind of a risky thing to say because there's at least half of the people in any given room, not only women, it could just be half in general, that you're betting on not liking that comment.
In an era where women felt for good reason that OG predators like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein would never be held accountable, why not at least get something out of it? These men were surrounded by all sorts of enablers, skeptical cops, assistants who lured women into unsafe spaces, cowards who knew what was going on but didn't dare expose the person who signed their paycheck. In that scenario, it was not illogical for an abused woman to say, well, if I can't get justice for my pain, can I at least get a receipt, a coupon?
Sounds really understanding and fair. Yeah, a lot of situations where leaving is the most dangerous thing a person in an abusive relationship can do, because that's typically when a lot of things will go wrong for the ones that have unfortunately been killed by their abusive partner, I'll just say. Maybe you even have a child, which also makes it difficult to just up and leave.
But a lot has changed. Cosby and R. Kelly went to prison. Harvey Weinstein is going to die in prison. Larry Nassar is serving 175 years. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in his jail cell by Hillary Clinton.
No. Lots has changed, probably, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But notice how long these people got away with it. Kind of took a massive amount of people to say, yeah, this person did something to me, for it to finally be significant. But still makes a really good point. Easier to prove things sometimes, and maybe things are taken a bit more seriously than they used to be in a lot of situations.
Post-Me Too, reporting of sexual crimes is way up, as is the percent of women who say they're now more likely to speak out if victimized. And many states have changed laws, making it easier for victims to come forward. We're not in the no one listens to women or takes them seriously era anymore. Operators are actually standing by to take your calls. And I'm aware that it can be difficult to leave an abusive relationship. Most of what I watch on TV is the Lifetime channel.
Wait, I'm sorry, what is that? Hiding from my husband, no one would tell. Stalked by my ex, reviving Ophelia, you can't escape me. Death saved my life. Oh my gosh. A bit heavy. It definitely wasn't taken nearly as seriously back in the day as it is now, but definitely still a lot of people think, and are kind of conditioned to think, well, I'm just one person and that person's really powerful, so I don't want to risk everything to say something.
But this should be society's new grand bargain. We take every accusation seriously, but don't tell me any more about your contemporaneous account that you said to two friends 10 years ago. Tell the police right away. Don't wait a decade. Don't journal about it. Don't turn it into a one-woman show. And most importantly, don't keep fucking him.
He is making a very valid point, and even kind of making it funny as he says it, which is, yes, of course it sounds ridiculous and even kind of funny to poke at this situation as, not saying that she is or isn't a victim, but it just sounds silly to be in these situations that may or may not have been very harmful to you, and then you would just send really loving messages the next day, or you would continue to have a relationship with this person. It sounds silly, and maybe even some of it fabricated in certain situations, or exaggerated to how bad it was if you clearly were willing to go back, yet had all of this access to not have to go back. You chose to. But on the other side, like, there's a lot of words for this. And a lot of examples to this too. Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, people can leave, but once they're finally out of a cage, they're so used to the person who abused them or kidnapped them or held them hostage that they don't want to leave. It's all that they knew for such a long time that they don't know anything else. So people are conditioned to like what's comfortable and what they're used to, more so than look for change, even if it means a better way of life.
It's not victim shaming to expect women to have the agency to leave toxic relationships. Quite the contrary, to not expect that is infantilizing them. If Diddy walks free, it will be because his lawyers can point to an endless stream of text from Cassie expressing what's often called enthusiastic consent to their sex life. If you're Me Tooing someone, it doesn't help your case if you texted him, "Me too. I just want it to be uncontrollable." If you want us to think you weren't always ready to freak off, don't write, "I'm always ready to freak off."
I mean, it does get to a point where it's embarrassing and it hurts other people. And unfortunate, because it makes people in really bad situations comparable to this one. And it hurts people who are victims and people who have been in really bad situations and do want to get out of it, when this is someone that people are trying to take seriously doing something like this. It's really hard to tippy-toe on something so serious, and he's doing a good job and kind of almost making it humorous, but having a really important message too. Actually admire people who can just speak and make their point in short sentences. I don't know how to do that.
If you want us to think you weren't always ready to freak off, don't write, "I'm always ready to freak off." Or wish we could have FO'd before you left. You know, one sign you're pretty comfortable with something is when you call it by its initials.
It's difficult to balance trying to express being sensitive, and she very well could be a victim, but also maybe only in certain situations, and then other situations it was a little bit more, labels are hard, and it's just really complicated looking at this, because if you do want somebody to believe this certain thing, it does look really bad when you're saying the exact opposite. And there's, of course, reasons for this. There could be manipulation. You're not in the mind of this person, or maybe wasn't victimized the same way, so it's hard to explain and understand why they would do this. But at the same time, you can't just always make an excuse for people and say, oh, well, we don't understand. There must have been a reason. Well, if we just excuse anything, then everyone's capable of lying. Like, not everybody tells the truth. But yes, it's scary when you have to balance, hey, you should take somebody seriously when they say something's happened to them, and not always immediately say the cliche, well, what were you wearing? She kind of seemed like she liked it. She kind of seemed like she wanted it.
You know, one sign you're pretty comfortable with something is when you call it by its initials, like Trump with KFC, or Johnny Depp.
Oh.
Or Johnny Depp with B.O.
Oh.
I get it. Part of the allure of the music industry is you want to be a star. It's why someone moves to Miami from Kansas. It's why they built a freeway from Orange County to L.A.
Wait, That is another good point. Again, not only just getting used to where you are and being comfortable and not knowing how to change something, even if it means it could be better for you, because people like routine, and I don't know what the right word is that I'm looking for, but it's not just comfortable and routine. It's just being used to something. It's scary to uproot your life and change for any reason and risk stuff. And a good example here would be, well, I didn't want my music career taken from me. If I told him no after all that I've already done and sacrificed, and how humiliated and nothing I would become without him, I know he would just move on and replace me with another girl who is pretty and could sing. So I might as well keep going with this. I'm already a victim. I've already shamed myself. I'm already in the situation. I at least want to keep my music career. He'll end me if I say anything.
It's why someone might run away from their small-town pastor into the arms of Father Funk. And music is, to begin with, highly sexualized. Magic doesn't strike at the office. It strikes in the studio at 3 a.m. when you're high as a kite and horny as a youth minister and...
Oh my gosh! He's going all out. Because there's a lot of understanding here, but there's also a lecture, and you know, sweetie, you need to say something. Don't just keep notes in a diary about it. Tell someone. Which is fair to say. I mean, it's coming from a good place. It's just like, wants to help.
Everyone is sexy as shit, and you're working on a song called Slut Up My Goo Machine. Of course a freak-off breaks out. Finally. But if we're going to have an honest conversation about abuse, we also have to have an honest conversation about what people are willing to do for stardom.
Sometimes, of course, it happens, even today, where you want a movie role and, well, I mean, there's like 5 girls who are qualified and pretty. I'll just give it to the one who puts out. And yeah, maybe the girl who was better than her didn't get the role because she didn't put out, which is unfortunate. But imagine thinking way later, oh, well, you did it, like you did it to get this then. So is that kind of consenting for a trade?
If you want a #1 record on the chart so bad you'll take a #1 in the face, some of that is on you. And if you're doing it for love, well, come on. Oprah and Dr. Phil and every podcaster in the world have done 1 million shows by now about how abuse is not love and abusers don't change. If it happened once, there will be more of it. To pretend otherwise is like seeing one ant in the sink and thinking, oh, it's probably just the one.
Seems very fair to say. Unfortunate that it works that way, and would be really neat if that could stop.
The singer FKA Twigs is suing Shia LaBeouf for their relentless abusive relationship. Now, I have no idea what Shia LaBeouf is like, although I've never read one single story about him or he didn't sound like a dick. But by her own account, she said, the whole time I was with him, I could have bought myself a business flight plane ticket back to my 4-story townhouse in Hackney, London. Really? Then why am I reading about this? Then do that. Buy that plane ticket, even if you have to go coach.
Not saying he's victim blaming, where she should have done something and he should not have any accountability. But now that we're done speaking about what he did, which was really awful, if you're going to say, oh, I could have just went away, you can see someone saying, well, then why didn't you? Why am I reading about it then? You're making it sound like you were a hostage, but you weren't a hostage. So since we're all on the same page that you could have gotten away at any time, then I'm confused.
If you're putting up with whatever for love or for your career, then you need to have a little more honesty and accountability about that. Ike Turner was a psycho, just like Diddy. But in an era where there was no movement to help her, Tina Turner somehow got away. And she did it with 36 cents in her pocket and a mobile card.
This doesn't mean that I'm arguing with him or saying what he's saying is wrong. I actually really liked a lot of what he said. I mean, said it with a lot of class and didn't sound super victim blaming. So yeah, just kind of sounds like a tough love. Please take care of yourself. Because of course we're not victim blaming. The people who do this to you are terrible people. But since they're going to keep doing it because they're terrible people, the best you can do for yourself, if you're not going to tell anyone and no one can help you, is help yourself. Kind of seems like the major point of the question. But I've seen, even recently, the whole frog and boiling water analogy, where if you put a frog in boiling water, it's probably going to jump out because it hurts and it understands that it's boiling. But if you put a frog in water and you slowly boil it, it doesn't jump out because it's unaware that it's boiling. So abuse kind of works like that, where it just slowly gets worse. Of course, a person that you've dated for 3 days doesn't immediately hit you. I'm not saying it's never happened, but that's not the situation that we're talking about. People start off showing you the best side of them. And it's not always a romantic partner. A lot of the time it could be other situations. Like someone taking advantage of you because you work for them and you really need that job. So you put up with it a little bit more because it's your livelihood. Or maybe it's a relative that you can't exactly run away from because there's other relatives involved that are kind of holding you back from leaving. You can't leave them behind, but you can't take them away. So then you are kind of stuck. Lots of different points of views. Please don't come for me in the comments. This is very different from my normal reactions, and I hope people don't get mad at me. I also don't know if I explain things right, and there's a lot to say, and I'm jumbled, and typically whenever I end videos, I'm like, I should have said that differently. So please don't come for me in the comments. But yeah, no, thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching. This was a very different video, longer than it should have been. I kind of rambled a bit, but over-explainer. Anyways, yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe, and go check out all my other links, and I'll see you all next time.